Hello, Smite fans! Today is going to be a recap between the Gunshow Shoguns and Baba's Kitchen. It's going to be the Tiamat division and week 1 in the Babylon Smite League. Thank you to Kiba for the request and letting me know where to find the VODs, so let's get into the battleground. First blood happened when the solo laners were having a gentleman's brawl. Thor came in trying to get a leg up, but Susanoo was right behind him. However, the difference maker was the third-party Agni, with a great rotation from mid. Just in time for elementals too, but it wasn't free, as Baba's Kitchen Paris and Iastil buffs did not go back to base empty-handed, but taking the lives of 2 Shoguns. Baba's Kitchen knew the secret to success was prepping early, so they pulled gold almost as it spawned and got a pick onto Gunshow Shogun's EC Binson, and secured their first gold of the game. The Gunshow Shoguns tried the gold objective too, but were quickly pushed back to their side of the jungle, all while BK was still pulling gold, but there was one more who hadn't joined the table, Kiba, who stole Gold Fury with a well-timed bomb. After a couple gold dances and fights breaking out, the Gunshow Shoguns make the call to trade Baba's Kitchen's second Gold Fury for the one and only Queen Naga. But the chefs felt they got the short cinnamon stick, so they pulled Pyro right after. They got their Pyro, but 4 chefs were fired. Beacon and mid T1 went to the Shogun's bank. BK pulled Pyro again and got it quickly. Feeling confident after starting so many objectives, Baba's Kitchen pulled the Gold Fury, hoping to secure their third. But the threat of Gunshow Shoguns, Craze, and Snoo was too much, and they pushed BK off the objective, which allowed GS to finish the Fury and tie the golds 2-2. Unhappy about this, BK tried to fight and recall with something to show, but ended up losing Void Pain in the process and had to back empty-handed. The Shoguns felt in control and started fire. They burned it with little show from the kitchen, and Gunshow Shoguns got their fire and decided violence was the answer. They continued their rampage, picking up 3 kills off Baba's Kitchen. With fire in hand, the Shoguns sieged and slayed Duo Phoenix. Next up was a quick Pyro Bomb pickup, followed by a shopping spree to buy wards and prepare for the Fire Giant. GS Snoo picked off BK Eyesteal buffs early in the fight. BK was scrambling to counter and fight back, but GS Craze was already in the backline. 4 died that battle, and the Titan couldn't be saved by one lonely Croc. Hello, Smite fans! I have Kiba here with me, a sub for the Tiamat division and the Gunshow Shoguns org. How are you feeling today?
Hey everybody, it's nice to be here. I'm pretty excited about what this channel has been doing. I think they're doing a pretty big thing for the community, considering there's not really any Smite Prime or SPL going on right now. Babylon is one of the only, true competitive scenes that we have right now, and being able to participate in, what the community is doing is pretty exciting to me. So nice to be here.
Well, thank you for that. I didn't tell him to say that. I want that on record, but thank you very much. It is appreciated. Let's talk a little more about the game and what it's like being a sub in such a great division like Tiamat.
All right, so I think Tiamat is a little bit, I don't think tricky is the right word, but there's a lot of depth to it because some substitutes are pretty much like at the same level of the people who drafted them, while others are more or less, lower league but can sometimes play up. For me, when I got drafted, they didn't really know what they wanted to do with the team. We had given it a couple of scrims, and eventually they just decided, this is the roster we're gonna go for. But there's not really like a lot of, like, how do I say this? Like, I do scrim a lot with them, right? Like, I'm kind of like an interchangeable piece, more or less. I consider myself at the same level as all of them. It's just really a matter of, availability and what have you.
What is your level of involvement as a sub kind of day to day or week to week?
Right, so as a sub, I'm not playing in every game. They do, go with the quote-unquote main roster that they have, but I'm still involved in a lot of scrims when people aren't available. Games whenever people aren't available has happened, more often than you might think. And, we're all involved in the chat. We play ranked together. We talk about builds. We talk about, what happened in games. We go over VODs. So our community, like Gunshow in specific, is pretty involved team-wide.
Well, that's great to hear. I hope the other divisions are feeling the same for that org. A great start for you guys coming into week one. How do you feel getting the win when you were subbed in? Of course, they put you in, you had a pretty decent Agni game, got the win, and that really nice objective steal. How does it feel?
Yeah, so that was a great game. The odds apparently were stacked against us. Like you guys know how the community overseers they like to talk about the current standings and the games before they happen.
Hmm.
Apparently everybody had voted against us, and especially when you see the underdog team coming in with a sub, you really don't expect them to do well. But like you said, I was there. I did well. I feel like I'm a really good team communicator. We played really well with each other. Nobody got upset with anybody because we had actually started out behind in that game, right? A couple of mistakes had occurred. I remember we were playing the first spawn of rocks, and Snoozism, our solo laner, was actually muted. He didn't realize he was muted, and we had a mishap around rocks. And some of us were playing rocks, some of us were fighting. And
Yep.
what ended up happening was Snoozism died by himself because of that lack of communication, and they all hit 5 off that, and we just got
Yep.
early wiped. They got rocks, and we were losing a lot of mid solo pressure because of that. And the enemy team made a super aggressive rotation to gold. They brought all 5, and they were kind of, being a little bit too aggressive. They didn't know what they wanted to do. Some of them were chasing us all the way at purple. Some of them were pulling gold. Their solo laner wasn't zoning. And I was able to, just detect that kind of sloppiness, that kind of weakness, the fact that they were disorganized. Walk right in, steal it, get us back in the game. And that kind of nullified all the solo pressure they had, built up because they had brought their Kabrakan over and Kabrakan wasn't farming. They lost gold for it. And our solo laner, Snoozism, was able to push a ton of waves, get back into the game, and we were kind of able to just, like snowball a really big comeback off of that.
The second game kicked off with more solo action. BK Ice Steel Buffs was on the scene, turning the totem fight into a 2v1 and cleaning up the first kill of the second contest. Gunshow Shoguns were the ones to strike first, as they pulled the gold and successfully defended it against BK Voidpain trying to steal it. Gunshow were winning across the map, plenty of elemental control, beacon, and they wanted their second Gold Fury next. So they took a fight in mid, leaving many members from the kitchen limping away. That meant the second Gold Fury was uncontested and all theirs. Firmly in the driver's seat, Gunshow felt so confident in their team fight they took the Queen Naga and Pyromancer at the same time. Baba's Kitchen were fighting back, 3-man ganking Gunshow Shoguns Snoo and Solo. However, even with that 5v4 at gold, Gunshow still pulled and killed Gold Fury, their third. But the chefs keep cooking. Baba's Kitchen forced a fight around Beacon. The Gunshow Shoguns earn the Moonlight's favor, but at least BK leaves with 1 kill. BK then goes and grabs a free Pyromancer. The Gunshow Shoguns decide now is the time to break the game wide open and take what is theirs. They pull fire and burn it back into the ground. Baba's Kitchen tried to fight back, but in the end, 3 Shoguns leave alive with fire and 1 Portal Master is left to defend. After cracking open the solo side lane for a Phoenix siege, the Gunshow Shoguns decide to group and do Gold Fury once more before sieging the mid and duo lanes. They start with mid Phoenix and then duo Phoenix. With a quick recall finished, the Shoguns lay waste to the solo side Phoenix. The Gunshow Shoguns decide to grab fire one last time, with a near steal from Baba's Kitchen's Paris. Then, it's time to leave nothing left standing in mid, and leave at least 1 less chef to end the game than started the game. A 2-0 here from the Gunshow Shoguns, Kiba saving the day and subbing in mid, and some entertaining Smite to watch. If you like this video and want to see more content like it, subscribe, and comment down below some video ideas, like covering trades, team interviews you want to see, comms included in the clips, all that jazz. That's all we have for the Battleground brief. Stay in the Battleground, deities, and fight hard.